Hey everyone, I'm Rashid here, and in this video I'll explain some of the frequently asked questions in speaking module. The first one is, do I have to speak for full 2 minutes in part 2? Yes, you will have to speak for 2 minutes, but the examiner may stop you before that. Can I give answers in yes or no? Do not give answers in simple yes and no. Expand your answers. When answering yes/no questions, always add reasons and explanations to your answer. Simple yes and no answers are not sufficient. Can I give no answer at all? Even if the examiner asks a question that you don't know or you don't like, you must answer the questions. Remaining silent is not an option. The examiner won't ask you more questions than he has to, nor would he change the topic just because you didn't like it. If it really is the matter that your mind is totally blank about the topic, be honest and tell the examiner. You can still get the score by explaining why you don't have any idea about it. You may explain how you never got a chance to have such experience and you never thought about it. How loud should I speak? You won't be awarded marks if you are speaking very quietly. Make sure that you are loud enough and whatever you say is clear. Don't shout either. The examiner would be sitting just a table apart. Should I be careful about language while speaking? Remember this, grammar and vocabulary make up only half of what the overall criteria of speaking test is. You cannot consciously speak better grammar or vocabulary if you don't have already. But you can certainly ruin what you can produce just by thinking too much about the language. So just stick to the natural approach. Which part is the most important? All parts of tests are equally important. Underperforming in any one of them will affect your overall score in speaking. Each part of the test gives some different perspective about your language. You have to give a uniform performance across the three parts. Asking the examiner's questions. You can ask to repeat the questions in IELTS Speaking in both part 1 and part 3. The examiner can rephrase the questions for you. You can also ask for a particular word that you couldn't understand, but you shouldn't overdo it. Can I correct my mistakes? Yes. It is perfectly acceptable if you correct or repair your own mistakes. What it means is that it is a natural process to make mistakes during speaking, and you can correct them by repeating or saying sorry. Is native accent required to get a high band? You can score high band with any native or non-native accent, but you must make sure that your pronunciation is correct and you are clearly understandable. Do I have to talk about every bullet point in part 2? Well, no. These bullet points are there to help you think of ideas to expand your answer. You can add some of your own ideas too, but don't go off the topic. Be careful about that. How to be dressed on the test day? Well, your dressing doesn't count for the score. You can dress formally or informally. Next, is giving detail important? Absolutely yes. Adding the detail will bring in more structures, vocabulary, and expressions. Without this, there is no other way the examiner can check the level of your language. Your answers shouldn't be either too short or too long. Short answers won't display your all language skills that you have, and too long answers would affect your score for not being precise. Does body language matter? Maintaining good natural eye contact with the examiner from the moment you enter the room may be very good. So you should answer all the questions in a polite and friendly way. Body language is an important part of the communication. Although the examiner is not going to give you any marks for the body language because that's not included in the criteria, but it is better to act and move naturally. So this allows you to speak in a natural way. When should I reach the venue? Make sure you arrive early for your test to make sure that you are not rushing and you have time to relax before the test. It's not a bad idea to visit the test center before the day or two of your own test to familiarize yourself with where you need to go. Should I try to copy anyone who is a good speaker? Okay, I think that whatever you speak must not be pre-learned. It should be a natural conversation. If you're trying to give a ready-made talk, the examiner might interrupt you and might ask you a different question. What's the best way to tackle unfamiliar questions or topics? Firstly, there are very slim chances that you will receive a topic that you are completely blank about. The topics that the candidates receive in their speaking test are the one that generally people interact and talk about in their everyday life. Having said that, let's say, what if you do get an unfamiliar topic? Then what? Since this is not a test of your knowledge, it's a test of your language, you can openly admit that you're not much aware of the topic. So that is all for today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.